Rob Dillingham at number 2. This is definitely a surprise to as much as, once again, the pick and roll potential. And if Rob Dillingham reaches his ceiling, the offensive potential with him and Victor would be pretty ridiculous. Yeah, that is the upside of Rob Dillingham. If y'all want to go check out my other thoughts on that and Ethan's as well, go check out our Rob Dillingham prospect breakdown and a bunch of other videos we've done on Rob Dillingham as well, with guys like Lou from Miami Heat Beat at Saucy Takes on Twitter. Check him out for a lot of draft content. But with all that being said, let's see what Gavoni has to say about him. As prolific a shot creator as Wembanyama was last season, he wasn't a very efficient option, ranking among the league's most turnover-prone players and sporting one of the lowest offensive ratings of any high-usage player in the NBA. Circumstances matter there. You guys know that. That's to be expected from a 19-year-old rookie thrust into a gigantic role on a fast-paced team that often had little semblance of coherent offense around him, other than literally Devin Vassell. But it's certainly something that the Spurs will want to optimize moving forward. Surrounding Wembanyama with better shooters, Dillingham converted 44% of his three-pointers this season. This Kentucky team was just shooting the lights out. Will be beneficial. But also, right, so better shooters, that ties into the Reed Shepherd point earlier. But also, adding a dynamic ball handler who excels in pick and roll, has speed to burn, turning defense into offense in the open court, and can go get his own shot at almost any time he pleases, could surely help. That sums up about why, like, at the beginning of this whole draft process, Rob Dillingham was my number one. You know, when you're looking at just that, it's hard to not get excited thinking about him with Victor. Dillingham is lightning in a bottle, ranking as one of the best scorers in this draft class already as a freshman. He's also an underrated passer. I'm glad that Gavoni is saying this because a lot of people criticize this, but like to hear this from Gavoni is nice. Who has real creativity dishing off a live dribble, a skill he can continue to hone. And that's the key thing there. He's saying like he can get better at it. That's basically what he's alluding to. And like orchestrating sets and all that type of stuff, like I'm not saying there's not room to grow there, but he led Kentucky in assist rate, and he was second on the team in assists to Reed Shepherd. Like it's Reed Shepherd. And again, in a very crowded backcourt. So I'm a little bit higher on his passing than maybe some other people. His biggest concern, his size at 6'2", 164 pounds with a 6'3" wingspan, can be mitigated to an extent by operating off of Wembanyama, who's already the NBA's premier rim protector. And another good point that a lot of you guys in the comments have made, and that Ethan has even talked about when it comes to Rob Dillingham, is that when you look at a lot of the small scoring guards around the league, none of them are necessarily like insanely good defenders, you know? So when you're drafting a Rob Dillingham prototype and you're looking at his ceiling, like the best version of him isn't going to be an elite defender anyway. So that's just something to keep in mind. While some around the league don't view Dillingham as a Spursy type of pick based on their drafting track record, he has been openly campaigning to be picked by San Antonio. There'd be no questions about how he'd view the team hierarchy if the Spurs pair him with Wembanyama. At the NBA draft combine in Chicago, Dillingham said, "He could be one of the best players ever. If I'm playing with Wemby, it's obvious. I am coming in to give Wemby the ball." So as much as they say he's not that much of a Spursy type pick, maybe because he's from overtime elite and, you know, he's Rob with the shifts, it's all the step back isolation, you know, highlight moves. He's also saying this, you know, and if there's any place to come hone your defense and playmaking and fundamentals and maybe hone in a little bit of that, you know, that highlight overtime elite-esque stuff, I think it's San Antonio. I'll just leave it at that.